So what is repo rate and why does RBI keeps increasing or decreasing the repo rate? Let's see about it today. So what is repo rate? Let's say an individual wants to borrow money. What does he do? He goes to the bank and applies for a loan, and the bank gives him loan based on a particular interest rate. Now let us say a bank needs money. So what does the bank do? The bank goes to RBI and borrows money from RBI at a prescribed interest rate. The RBI, Reserve Bank of India, lends money to the bank in a particular rate, and this rate of interest is called as repo rate. Okay. So a few days back, RBI increased the repo rate by 40 base points. So if RBI increases the rate of repo rate, that means the rate at which RBI lends money, okay, the interest rate increases. So if interest rate increases to the bank, then automatically what the bank does, the bank will pass on this interest rate increase to its customers who take loan. For example, I apply for a loan to the bank, and before the repo rate hike, the loan interest rate would have been lesser, and after the repo rate hike, the loan interest rate would have increased. And this particularly affects the home loans. Why? Because home loans usually have a floating rate of interest. So no matter if I apply for the loan before the repo rate, or I have an existing loan, or it is a new loan, the interest rate would be increased. Now how does it affect the share market? Let's say I am a customer who wants to buy a home. So once the repo rate, after the repo rate hike, the bank has automatically increased the home loan interest. Now I'd be thinking, should I buy a home now or should I postpone it later? Like me, there are thousands of people, millions of people who would be postponing their home purchases. This would affect the real estate sector very badly. So now once the growth in the real estate sector comes down, it not only the real estate sector growth will come down, its allied sectors growth will also come down. What are its allied sectors? Allied sectors are ceramics, cements, wires, etc. So growth of all these sectors comes down. Now you might think, okay, I have zero exposure towards real estate or real estate shares. I have invested heavily into FMCG. So this repo rate might not affect me, right? That is where you are wrong. Like I previously said, so this repo rate hike would also affect people who have their existing home loans. Let's say I have a home loan of a particular amount for which I pay 15,000 rupees EMI every month. Now after this hike, my 15,000 EMI would be increasing to 16,000 EMI, let's say for an example. Now this is 1,000 additional EMI I have to pay. Now this 1,000 rupees, what I would do, I would adjust it with my expenditures, which is not necessary. For example, I might reduce going to the restaurants, or I might reduce my purchases. Like say, previously I used to buy 2 toothpaste for 2 separate washrooms. Now I will reduce it to 1, and I would think, okay, I'll do some cost saving cuttings. And this causes a ripple effect. The repo rate hike, now it causes increase in interest rate, and this interest rate hike will automatically cause a ripple effect. Home buyers will postpone their buyings. Then people who have existing home loans, they will be reducing their expenditures, and the entire share market falls down because the growth of many sectors will be affected. So this is what the effect of repo rate on share market. In addition to repo rate, the RBI also increases CRR rate. Now what is the CRR rate? CRR is called cash reserve ratio. That is, the CRR is the ratio of money a bank has to maintain in the RBI in proportion to its deposits. For example, I deposit 100 rupees in ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank has to deposit a particular portion of my deposit to RBI. So once the CRR ratio is increased, That means the amount of money the bank has to maintain in RBI will also increase. So now where does this money come to the bank? Now they have to pull the money out from the market. So now you can see the money in the market is pulled by the bank and it is deposited in Reserve Bank. This causes a liquidity crunch, and this would have also caused a share market fall. So these are two things we are seeing. Now why does RBI keeps toying with this repo rate? Why can't they keep a constant repo rate? There is a reason for it. As you know, the inflation has increased. Now, what you don't know is the inflation has increased to such an extent that it is very bad for the country, bad for the people. RBI recognizes it. So RBI has to bring down the inflation. And history says whenever the repo rate is hiked, the inflation is brought down. Or you can say whenever the inflation reaches high, then the RBI implements repo rate hike so that the inflation is brought back to levels which should be manageable. Okay, so how does repo rate hike and inflation correlate? Well, let me take a very crude example. Let's take two people, A and B. Now, person A is of a lower income group and person B is a upper middle class, is a high income group. Now, person A doesn't have any home loans or anything. So, whatever the money he earns, he spends most of it towards essential commodities. He spends most of the things for food, shelter, etc. Now, the person B is from a high income group. Let's say he owns one house or two houses. He has home loans for this house. He has to pay EMI. And whatever the extra money he has, he splurges towards gadgets, going to restaurants, etc. Now, once his repo rate is increased, then automatically the EMI which the person B pays will also increase. So, once the EMI is increased, let's say 1000 rupees EMI is increased to him, then what he has to do? He has to reduce spending. So, he has to reduce his purchase. That is, his purchasing power is reduced. Once the purchasing power is reduced, then the commodities which he buys will also come down. For example, previously he might be willing to buy rice at 50 rupees per kg. But now his purchasing power is reduced, he might not be able to spend that much of money. So automatically the rice price might come down. It might come down from 50 to 45 rupees, which is greatly beneficial to person A. This I am giving you as a very crude example to understand repo rate. Okay. So I think that's it for today. Signing off for today. Bye.